come see her game. She will love you all. That's awesome. So, all right. So, somebody tell me, what is the book of Proverbs for? Anybody know? What's it for?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. What about wisdom? What is wisdom?
What you know.
What you know?
No. Knowledge.
Knowledge? So is knowledge and wisdom synonymous?
I don't know what synonymous.
Synonymous means the same. Are they equal? What? What did you say? Okay. Are they the same? Is knowledge and wisdom the same thing?
No.
What? Close? Okay. So what's the difference? Is it? Please, Braden, enlighten me.
Smart you are, like math or science or something, and wisdom can be like how to achieve your goals and stuff.
Okay. Interesting thoughts. So you're saying knowledge is book smarts, something that is practical by people, and wisdom is something that's more than that?
Yeah, because wise you have to be wise you have to know it all.
All right. I'll give you a scenario. You guys like scenarios. You'll do great with them. You ready? All right. So Dalton has a double header in baseball. The heat's been about 95, okay? And you've got a double header. Your first game starts at 8:30 in the morning, okay? And the game's on Saturday morning, okay? Everybody here with me? Saturday morning, doubleheader game for Dalton. We're all on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Friday night, Grace says, hey, Dalton, me and a whole bunch of the friends are going to the movies. Do you and the guys want to go to the movies with us? It starts at 11:30. Don't worry, parents said it was cool. Now, Dalton has a choice to either say, yeah, I want to go to the movies. One, it's the movie I've been wanting to see. But two, it's a night out with all of my friends. Dalton, would it be wise to go to the movies? No. Okay, why?
Because then I'll be tired.
Okay, so was that knowledge?
No.
Did you find that in a book anywhere?
No.
It's being wise. It's making the right decision. Knowing, like,
Keep going.
It could be knowledge.
like knowing both right and wrong, but knowing to pick the right decision.
Okay. Sarah, you want to combat that something?
It could be knowledge.
How?
Because what if your parents have told you in past scenarios that that's not a good idea? Then that's knowledge, not really. Or you. Well, it could be both.
Well,
It's wisdom.
What he did, they've had an experience with it, so it could be knowledge that way too. You
Okay.
already know from the past because you already tried and you were tired.
So is that still knowledge over wisdom? If it's a past experience and you're moving through something now that you've been through?
No,
I mean, that's kind of,
Well,
I don't know.
it's still
I
kind of
don't know.
making a wise decision by listening.
Mason, you got a phone on you?
Yeah.
Go ahead and pull out that phone for me and look up the definition of knowledge. Sage, you have your phone?
Yeah.
Can you look up the definition of wisdom? Now, this will be by the world's standard. Of course, this will be what we get just from a world's perspective. Okay? Mason, whenever you've got it, go ahead and read it out nice and loud.
Facts, information, and skills acquired by a person through experience or education.
Education.
Okay, or experience. What was the beginning part? Facts, what?
Facts, information, and skills.
Okay. Facts, information, and skills brought about by experiences or education. Go ahead, read wisdom.
The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment, the quality of being wise.
Okay.
Same thing.
Look up the definition of wise, the quality of being wise. So this was different. Did anybody catch the difference?
There's, yeah.
There was a phrase used in that. in wisdom?
She would have to read it again.
It was, well, go ahead. Read wise real quick, because you've got that, right?
Having or showing experience, knowledge, and good judgment.
Judgment.
That's for
Wisdom refers to instead of someone's good sense, judgment, or insight.
The phrase there is having good judgment. That is showing wisdom. Now, yes, you can have lots of knowledge. You can understand many different things and still not put that knowledge into practice. Dalton could have understood in his brain the knowledge of going out late at night will cause him to be tired because of past experiences, and still went, loaded up on popcorn and soda, and got home at 3 a.m., knowing full well he is going to go 0 for 4 in his game coming up. Now here's the thing. The wisdom is the good judgment part. Okay? If I looked at you and I said, hey, that was really wise, Grace, that means in whatever scenario Grace was just in, she showed good judgment. She understood more than knowledge. She made the decision pertaining to that benefited her and those around her. Okay? Is that starting to make sense, the difference between knowledge and wisdom? Knowledge, lots of understanding. You get skills, you get experience, you have a knowledge. But applying them with good judgment is showing wisdom, or a lack thereof in application in good judgment. If you have your Bibles, turn with me to Proverbs chapter 1. If you do not have a Bible, you can get up at this time, walk right over to that table, and grab one of the blue Bibles so you can follow along with us. Proverbs chapter 1. It sure is. If you take the Bible right in the middle and open it up, you should get somewhere around the book of Psalms. Proverbs is right after it.
Thanks for that information.
No problem.
Wait, where are we?
Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs have exactly 30 chapters in the book of Proverbs. So lots of people are like, oh, I can read one chapter a day for 30 days and get through it in an entire month. Wow, how convenient. The problem is I don't see you guys every day. So I can't teach 31 months. You were right. 31 days in a month. Point being, I only get 1 hour with you a week. And that's if you come every week. In 52 weeks, that's the equivalent of 4 days. I get to teach you the Word of God for 4 days if you came every Sunday. If you skipped because of vacation, or because you didn't have a ride, or because of anything, that time is invaluable. I don't get it back. Most of you will spend 3 days learning about God in church a year. And so when I say it's important that you guys come on Sunday mornings, I'm not just saying that. It's because I really appreciate you guys when you do make this time and you do sacrifice things and come. It's important. It's important to me. Thank you.
I'm gonna be on vacation.
It happens, and I understand that. Some things are out of your control. That's why Braden is going to be uploading our videos now. We're getting him trained, and he's going to start posting all of these online on our Flip180 page on YouTube, and you can watch them if you ever miss. So, Proverbs chapter 1. Do I have someone who would read verses 1 through 7? Sophie, sorry.
The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to discern the sayings of understanding, to receive instruction in wise behavior, righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the naive, to the youth knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase in learning, and a man of understanding will acquire wise counsel. To understand a proverb and a figure, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, the book of Proverbs, first and foremost, is for gaining wisdom and instruction. as it says in the beginning verses, to know wisdom and instruction, to discern the sayings and understanding words of insight. So these are the first two things that Proverbs talk about. Gaining wisdom, gaining an understanding of how to make good judgment calls. That's what Proverbs was initially used for. Basically, since the time of David and Solomon, people were still making bad decisions. Funny enough, things haven't changed. It's because sin is still in the world. Sin is still trying to take people and twist their ideas and twist them into thinking, oh, I don't really need that. And so they end up making decisions, though with their knowledge, are not wise. To receive instruction in wise behavior. How to behave prudently. Basically, verse 4, it says, to give prudence to the naive and to youth knowledge and discretion. Somebody tell me, what's discretion? Does anybody know this word?
Isn't it a warning?
Yeah, very good. Basically, you're heeding something that has been said, and you're like, okay, I'm going to listen to that and apply it. You are gaining wisdom. You are gaining good choices. Sometimes from seeing people who make bad decisions. Have you ever been in a situation where you're all gathered around and you're trying to get one person to do something and finally they do it and they get really hurt, or everybody's just like, oh, that was a really bad call, and no one else does it because they're all like, well, that person did it and it ended really badly for them. No thanks. We used to do this all the time with food. We would be like trying new things at a buffet if we were in college or whatever. We're like, I don't know what that is, but it looks disgusting. Somebody try it. Somebody try it. And the first person to eat it, if they hated it, we're like, glad it wasn't me. Right? But we took that knowledge, oh, that's probably disgusting, and then applied our own judgment to it. I could have been like, I'll eat it. What would have happened? I would have been just as disgusted by it. Because I saw, but I did not apply. I saw, but I didn't apply. Are we gaining what I'm saying here? I sure hope we do, because we're going to go deeper in this, okay? What are some things that you see today, or some things that either your parents have told you or wise people who have imparted counsel to you have said, and you're just like, oh yeah, I probably need to apply that to my life? Somebody, anything. Nobody has told you anything wise. Ella.
Thinking before you speak.
Thinking before you speak. Now, why would that be important, Ella?
So
You don't have to answer that.
Well, it'd be important so you don't, something that you would say would hurt their feelings or take offense to it.
So you don't
Good.
feel regret.
Good. Yeah. Other things. I'll tell you one that I was growing up always had to say. It was yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And I said that to everybody. The reason being is because it was a showing of respect. Now, if they gave me like, you don't have to do that, I was like, okay. But before I knew that, it was always, I will respect those older than me or those in authority. The reason being is because it showed that I was a young man of character. I wanted to honor them. It looked good on my parents, looked good on me. There are things that you guys will learn that you will say, oh, that's not that important, but it'll be from someone who says it is important. And you'll have a choice to either say, okay, I will abide by that, or I won't. A big thing is your parents, okay? I know I talk about this a lot. And I know a lot of you have different parents and different home lives and different things like that. That's also why I said people who are wise, who speak into your life, people who love and care about you and speak into your life, okay? They'll say something to you for your good. And you will say no. That is your choice. Is it the wisest choice? Not always. But it's not going to stop you from making your decision. A lot of you will make decisions that aren't the wisest. But This book is specifically talking about how do we make wise decisions and why. Why would we want to? Verse 4, to give prudence to the knave, to the youth knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase in learning, and a man of understanding will acquire wise counsel. To understand the proverb and a figure, the words of the wise and their riddles. A lot of times I'll say things and you guys, the first response is, what? I don't understand. That's fine, because I've got people around me who will say things and I look at them and I'm like, what? I don't get it. I've got a mentor named Alan Baker, and he has been my pastor for many, many years, since college. And he asks me questions that I'm like, I have no idea how to answer this. And he'll let me struggle with it. He won't give me any hints at all. Why? Why would he do that?
To let you think about it.
Okay,
See if you actually know what it is.
good. And what if I don't know what it is? He still will just wait. What is that going to do? What is that going to cause me to have to do? Right? Well, yes, figure it out. What did you say? Think? Figure it out. Basically, I have to start talking it out. Well, maybe it means this. He'll say, sort of. Keep going. Maybe, and I'll just start kind of stuttering over words. Yeah? Do you think that it could, and he'll ask another question. I mean, maybe. And I'm over here like struggling, right? But he wants me to struggle. His goal is for me to reason things out myself. If I gave you guys all the answers without letting you struggle, that's like me spoon feeding you the Word of God. And that's what I do for babies. You're not babies. You're youth. You should be able to be given a plate of food, cut it up for yourself, and chew it. There will be concepts here in the book of Proverbs that will be difficult to understand. You will be confused. And I will look at you and I'll say, what do you mean? What's confusing? And I'll leave it at that. And if you want to gain knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and grow in this, you will reason it out. You'll ask questions. I have no problem with asking questions. But if you ask me a question, Mason, ask me a question, anything in the world.
What's your favorite color?
Why do you want to know my favorite color? What did I do?
Ask another question.
I did. I asked a question to his question. And now you have to reason out, well, what's the answer? Why do you want to know my favorite color?
To get you a bike.
What kind of bike would it be?
Whatever your favorite color is.
Would it be electric or would it be man-powered?
Do you like electric bikes or pedal?
See, this is good. And why is it good? What are we doing?
Conversating.
Yeah, we're having a full-blown conversation with one another, asking each other questions. And by asking these questions, we will answer these questions. I like a pedal bike. My favorite color is red.
And if you didn't ask those questions, didn't conversate with him, you could have gotten him a pink bike with the little frilly on the handle.
That's right. Would have gone straight to jail.
Get a radio flyer.
So, again, if you're confused, ask questions. But there's no wrong question. There's no wrong answer. It's about we're wanting to grow in wisdom. That's the purpose of this, okay? Proverbs 1:7, at the very end of it, it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." Why do you think I highlighted this verse? Why is this verse so important to understand? Braden?
Because some people don't accept the word of God.
Some people don't. What else? Jackson? Keep thinking. Libby?
Like, to fear the Lord, doesn't that mean, like, to, like, fear his power
It can.
and know, like, that he's has so much power in the world?
It's twofold. So fear, when we think of fear, we think of like worry, right? Fearful. But in this context, it's reverence. It's I fear you because I respect you. Like my daughters don't fear me as in they're scared of me. They know I love them. But if they do something wrong, they're also fearful of the judgment that will come. And that's because they respect me. They fear me in that regards. They know that I have the best intentions for them, but they know that I will also bring correction. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand that? So why, Jackson, do fools despise wisdom and instruction specifically?
Because, I mean, it's more like being blinded. Like, not knowing because you're so caught up with the world that you're not.
What do they have to admit? If you're being instructed on something, that means you have to admit what?
That you were wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's right. You're wrong. That you don't know. You don't know it all. It's true. You have to admit that. You have to admit that to God. God, I don't know the answer. Fools despise wisdom and they despise instruction because they don't want to change from their own ways. I know the right answer. I've experienced things. Why should I change? Remember, knowledge is having the skills because of the things that you've learned or the things that you've gone through. I know this. I hear it all the time. I know. But does that mean you're applying it with wisdom? Did you take all that knowledge and consult God about it? Did you know that the creator of the universe might, perchance, have a better option for you? Maybe he could take that wisdom and shift you a little bit? The schemes of the wicked. Verse 8 and 9 talk about the importance of listening to your parents and those who pour into your life, which we've talked about earlier. Verse 8 says, "Hear, my son, to your father's instructions, and do not forsake your mother's teachings. Indeed, they are graceful wreath on your head and ornaments around your neck." It's something to be shown off. Hey, my parents, they've taught me this. Verse 10 through 19 talk about ill-gotten gain and how they wait to take advantage of the weak, prey upon them. We'll see it all over in the world today. Scammers, con artists, those who willingly hurt the weak in order to stay strong. Do I have someone who would read verses 10 through 19? Go ahead, Libby.
My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, "Come with us," let us lie and wait for blood. Let us ambush the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol. And even fool as those who go down down to the pit. We will find all kinds of precious wealth. We will fill our houses with spoil. Row in your lot with us. We shall have one curse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your feet from their path. For those whose feet run into evil, indeed it's useless to spread the baited net in the sight of any bird. But they lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. So the ways of everyone who gains by the violence, it takes away the life of its possessors.
Excellent. Thank you. The schemes of the wicked are right in front of our faces all the time. And it starts young. Trust me. You guys know when someone's like, oh, we can take advantage of this or we can take advantage of that. And as you get older, it becomes much worse. Corporations take advantage of employees with their wages or their hours. People take advantage of others by the scams, phone calls. They get nice, sweet old people to give up thousands of dollars. Their life savings are drained. Con artists say, oh, this product will make your life so much better, and it's terrible, and it does nothing for you. All of these things are this passage. Those who say, hey, come with me. Let's make life easy on ourselves by preying on the weak. The youth, the kids, let's take them and manipulate them, and then we'll be fine. This is ill-gotten gain. And there are people who say, hey, come do this with us. We'll give you a share. You'll be taken care of. Don't run to that. Don't go and try to shortcut your way to success or to a life of luxury by trampling over everyone else. Solomon instructs it. He says here in the end, it says, but they lie in wait for their own blood. This is verse 18. They ambush their own lives. So are the ways of everyone who gains by violence. It takes away the life of its possessors. What they're doing is they're killing themselves. Every person that they trample over, every person that they take advantage of, it starts to chip away at them. They lose a part of themselves. Verses 20 through 33, it says, very simply, listen to what I have to say. And so I'm going to read verse 20 to 33, and I'd love for you guys to listen along. This finishes chapter 1. I'm going to read it slowly. I just want you guys to listen, to follow along to what it says. Wisdom shouts in the streets. She lifts her voice in the square. At the head of the noisy streets, she cries out. At the entrance of the gates in the city, she utters her sayings. How long, O naive ones, will you love being simple-minded? And scoffers delight themselves in scoffing. Fools hate knowledge. Turn to my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit on you. I will make my words known to you. Because I called and you refused. I stretched out my hand and no one paid attention. And you neglected all my counsel and did not want my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your dread comes. When your dread comes like a storm and your calamity comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call on me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord. They would not accept my counsel. They spurned all my reproof. So they shall eat of the fruit of their own way and be satisfied with their own devices. For the waywardness of the naive will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. but he who listens to me shall live securely and will be at ease from dread of evil. Solomon is saying here at the end of chapter 1, which is the very first chapter of this huge book of wisdom, he says, hey, wisdom is calling out to you. Are you going to listen? Because if you don't, there will come a point in your life where you will really want this, and you'll call out, and I will not be there. Why would wisdom no longer be there later in life? Why would this statement say that? Braden, what do you think?
Because one day all the sinners are going to have a chance to go to heaven.
Okay. What else? Practically here on earth. What do you think? Why will wisdom not be there for you then if you don't heed the instruction now? Braden?
Go into the battle and quit.
Okay, definitely. Ella?
Because you're just going to go into a deeper hole
Okay,
and won't find any way out.
okay, definitely. Where do you get your wisdom from now, Dalton? You are gaining wisdom now, aren't you? Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, if you were, who would you be getting it from?
Bible.
Okay, so that means that you're spending time in the Bible. You're absorbing the Bible. You have to be spending time in it, or else you wouldn't be gaining anything from it, right? Yeah. Where else? Where else? Other places. Audrina, where do you get your wisdom? Okay, so that obviously means that you're listening to the counsel of your parents, and when they say something, you're taking that advice to heart and applying it, right? Cece, where do you get your wisdom? School? Is that knowledge or is that wisdom? Okay. Friends. Good. And so the friends that you're surrounding yourself with, they're good influences on you? I think that's wise of you to understand and know that. Here's what I'm getting at. The people that you're surrounding yourself with right now, the wisdom that you're gaining from different people, you're coming here on a Sunday morning. I hope in a very small way that the leaders behind you and myself being here, we're able to pour in wisdom into your life. One day, if you don't accept wisdom now, you will probably surround yourself with people who also didn't accept wisdom when they were younger. And then you'll probably just feed into each other. Bad decision feeds bad decision. Wrong choice feeds wrong choice. And you're both on the same page, so nobody thinks it's wrong. There's millions of people out there who don't believe in Jesus, and they've surrounded themselves with people who are great people. But neither of them believe that God is important. And so neither of them are going to push one another to believe in God. Why would they need wisdom then? Here's some statistics for you. By the time a child is 11 years old, if they haven't been exposed to Jesus, it's about 80% that they'll never accept him in their life. By 11. By the time they reach 18, that goes up considerably. I think we're into the 90s by the time they're 18. If they haven't accepted Jesus, then they probably won't. An adult like your guys' parents, if they haven't accepted Jesus, it would take an act of God. Now, does that mean it's impossible? Absolutely not. I've seen God do amazing things. He still can, he still will. And that's why I pray, and that's why I believe for my unsaved family members who are living in sin. But I'm asking you now, are you choosing to gain wisdom? Or are you just like, whatever? I guess it's kind of important, but because the same thing that Cal said this morning about discipline, this will take discipline. It'll take time. It'll take effort. It'll take a desire to learn. You'll have to gain knowledge, but more than that, you'll have to apply it through wisdom. You'll be faced with choices. I'll say I don't mean to always put people on the spot, but I do put people on the spot a lot. That's just me. And this morning, Sage, I just really have to say I'm really thankful that you came. I cannot stress that enough. Sage told me the other day that she's been working long hours, pulling doubles, and she works all next week. She works later today. And she told me, she's like, I need some rest. I don't think I'm going to come tomorrow morning. I said, hey, I respect it. I understand. I really hope you can come. This morning, she says, I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it this morning. I said, hey, you still got time if you want to come. She pushes through and comes in. I appreciate that. You guys all have moments like that. All of you. You know, this youth group has 30 kids in it. And what has happened? Priorities get changed. People graduate. But I know for a fact there are tons that are still in this age bracket that are not here.
Yeah, 11 of them. 12 of them.
And that's not on you guys. If anything, it's on me. And I hold that. But I want, more than anything, that if there was 12 of you here, that the 12 of you would be like the 12 disciples. That you would increase in knowledge and wisdom because you want to. Not because anybody made you or because you feel obligated by a pastor or by a parent or by anything like that. I want you to want to learn more. Because there will be a time where you will leave here in youth and you will graduate and you will move on and we won't be able to pour into your lives anymore. What I'm getting right now is I'm getting kids that get boyfriends or girlfriends and they just leave the youth group. Nah, I can't stop them. I can just pray that wherever they're going, someone's pouring into them like I tried to. The final verse here, verse 33 of chapter 1 says, "But he who listens to me shall live securely and will be at ease without fear or harm." Live in safety. One of the biggest things that I want to pass on to my daughters is safety. I want them to feel safe in a world that's not safe. In a world that's corrupt and evil, I want them to have wisdom to make good decisions and to feel like they are at peace. These are strong words from the wisest person. If you want to live at ease and safety without any harm or fears, then I encourage you to study this book as we go through it. Make it your goal to read this book as we go through it in week in and week out. We'll be going over a chapter at a time. We'll dive into the Word. Next week, I will be preaching out of Proverbs chapter 2. Sometime during this week, I encourage you, read Proverbs chapter 2. It's 22 verses. It will take you less than 5 minutes to read the entire chapter. I'm begging you, please read it.